Hey everybody, this is Brad from Johnson Small Engines, better known as the One-Hand Mechanic. If I can do it, you can too. Today we're working on a 3X Cub Cadet. This is a 26-inch self-propelled snow thrower from Cub Cadet. And I just want to show you, if you can see this, I'm by myself today, so my camera work may be a little bit tricky, but when you shift it from forward to reverse, all right, it should shift smoothly. And I'll put a little arrow when you shift the handle back into reverse, right? It comes back up here. Now when I shift it forward, see how the slack? See how this is just barely moving? That's no good, all right? And I have seen this 3 times in the last couple weeks, and I want you guys to know that I think this is from putting never sees on the shaft that slides back and forth, and this is not good from the factory, and I hope Cub Cadet gets this memo because it's happened on Cub Cadet. I've seen it mostly on Cubs, but right here it's supposed to move. And if I just barely tweak that a little bit, it slides. We're gonna go ahead and put this up in the air. And what I mean by that is, all you guys out there that tip these things up on their front end, I don't recommend that at all. Get yourself a couple 6x6 blocks. We're gonna go ahead and put this up in the air, put it on 6x6 blocks, and then we're gonna drop the transmission pan so I can show you inside here what we need to do to make this go back and forth and it should be nice and smooth, and it's not. And this also here should be spring loaded, so this should just spring back, and it doesn't. Okay, so what I mean by up in the air is 2 6x6 blocks, put the back wheels up, and it allows you to be able to pull this transmission cover down and slide it out without any problems normally. We're gonna go ahead and take these bolts off. There should be one here, there should be 2 underneath, and then you have to kind of pry this out. It can be a little bit stiff sometimes to get out. And I'm just using a 3/8 socket. Okay, 4 bolts. Now this has to be pulled out. There's a little lip under here. And it's like kind of like spring loaded, because when you pull, it's not spring loaded, but it's metal spring loaded. You're gonna hear my heater come on. I apologize for that. But it's cold out here. All right, so that's kind of spring loaded. So when you push it in underneath there, you gotta make sure, one, there's a slit that has a cable, and make sure you put it into the cable, slide it up, and then I just give it a kind of bump and it'll slide up in there, but we're taking this off. Now, the whole point about having it up in the air is that there's a little lip back in here. I don't know if I can zoom in or not. Let's see here. There's a lip right here that has there's a slice in the frame, and that has to slide out of there. So if you can see right here, it has like a little 90-degree, and when you put it back up in here, you have to put that up into the slot. And that's the hard part about getting this off and getting it back on, is that you have to get back up into this slot. And then once you have it in there, then you're gonna put it back up and pop it up in there, and you're good to go, all right? Without having it up on the blocks, you would not be able to get this down. The old style had 6 bolts, and they got rid of the bolts by using that little 90-degree bend. Now what we need to look at is this shaft. Let me see if I can get you underneath this. All right, I just want to show you what's happening here, is that this slack up in your shift lever shouldn't be slack. This is supposed to slide easily, and it doesn't slide easily. And if you look down here at the wheel, now this is not the shaft. This is the shaft that goes to the wheels. I'm talking about the shaft under here, which we'll get to. But watch this. This is your drive disc. This is a rubber drive disc that will grab your drive wheel here that drives from the engine. Now this should slide left and right, right and left. As I push up, it'll slide right, which makes the speeds go slower and faster. So all the way out is a faster speed, and all the way in is slower, and then you go to the other side, and that's reverse. And as you can see, it was really slow coming back. This is the rubber disc. This should slide back and forth easily. Now, I just pushed it, see how slow it is? This is a spring-loaded bar. Up here, it's spring-loaded, and it should come back real easy. And what it is, right here, they're putting some kind of a never sees on it, and it's not good at all. That's never sees. They should not put never sees on that shaft, because never sees gets goopy and yucky. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. Now also, you can see the black here on this drive disc. This rubber wheel right here gets smushed against the drive disc, and that's what turns your wheels. Not sure why they went rubber all these years. It's never changed, but it does work. And the only problem is you can see that the rubber is coming from the drive disc, and that is because I'm going to go ahead and clean this shaft and also clean this off. This is a Scotch-Brite pad, and it's great for taking off the rubber from the drive disc. And then I use a little bit of like a brake cleaner or something, but you don't want to get it on your rubber disc, and you want to make sure this is dry before you start using it. I'm also going to spray some cleaner degreaser on top of that, and I'm going to clean this up. We'll be right back. Okay, so I cleaned the shaft, I cleaned the disc. I just used some brake clean, a Scotch-Brite pad, and a rag, a clean rag. Definitely was never seized on the shaft. I would say, since they put the never seize on there, clean everything off the best you can. There's still going to be some never seize inside this mechanism that you're not going to be able to get out, and that's going to lubricate it enough. But I want you to see, by me just moving this, how easy it works now. And it's spring-loaded, so it comes back the way it should. So every time you move that shift lever forward and backward, it's going to shift as it should with no slack in the cable. That's how it should be. And if you do have slack at one end or the other of your shift, all the way forward or all the way backward, that's why these holes are here. You can adjust that accordingly by just holding the spring tension, and then you can take this out. So if you hold this up, and then you can, it's like a 90-degree, take it out, put it into another hole, try to get it even. So you want to get reverse and forward set up correctly. And yeah, so that's it. And I'm going to bring you in here a little closer to check it out. The drive disc right here, this slides back and forth. And I'm going to do it by hand, and you're not going to see my hand, but see how that slides nice and easy now? And it comes back. That's the way it should be. Just clean that up. I'm going to go ahead, we'll put the bottom back on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the pan back on, the transmission pan. I'm going to put it on the right side, right into that slot, and then I'm going to put it into the left side like that. It's got to like hang there. Once you have that in there, you're going to come up between this cable, push it in. I'm pushing it in with my left arm just to get it to go in, because if you don't, it's going to try to spring back on you. And then what I normally do is just pop it up in there and look for the holes. I always start them first before I tighten them all up. And I'll put them in a little bit. Give it a nice little push up there. Once you have the front two, they should be close. All right. Snug them up. Don't go too tight because you can strip out the sheet metal. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put it down and show you what I fixed. I'm trying to get it all in the picture. The handle's up here for your shift. Now this is all the way in 6th gear. And down here is the cable that you saw that was actually being very loose. So now when I bring it back to reverse, okay, now this is where it slacks up. When you go from reverse to forward. You see how there was no slack? Watch down here. I'm all the way back in reverse, all the way up and forward, all the way back in reverse, all the way up and forward. And that's how it's supposed to shift. And I noticed it by the handle being very stiff. The handle was stiff, and also this was slacking when I went forward and reverse. This is spring loaded, and it's supposed to go real nice and easy. And so you just have to take it apart, clean off that shaft. I don't recommend any more lubricant on that shaft. There's enough anti-seize that's stuck inside the bearing assembly in there that you'll have enough to lubricate that. And I've not had too many problems with these things actually seizing up because of lack of lubrication. Usually they overdid it at the factory. They shouldn't be using never seize on this. It's not a good idea. I have seen this in the newer machines. If you guys out there have a sluggish handle and you're wondering why, That's probably the problem. And as far as your drive disc, a little note on the drive disc. This is your drive wheels, and this is very loose. Do not tighten this unless you absolutely have to. What you can do is, this is your handle right here for your drive. I'm not sure if you guys are picking that up in the video or not. Yeah, this is the drive handle for your wheels. If all you have to do is hit your drive handle, put it in like first gear, maybe even second gear, and then try to hold the machine back as the tires are going. If they can do a burnout, or if they're still moving when you have this handle down, your traction is good. If you have your handle down and you're holding onto your machine and your wheels are not spinning, that would suggest sliding this bracket down, which will tighten it up. But as you saw how much rubber was left on that metal drive disc that drives your wheels, it's because these are too tight from the factory. And as loose as that is right now, I'm pretty much guaranteed that I can fire this up and it will actually do a burnout. Might as well just try that right now. So I'm gonna start it up. I got it in second gear, and see how it's doing burnout? To even sixth gear. That was sixth gear. All right, so I did it in sixth gear and I did it in second gear, and it still was doing a burnout. So this thing's got absolute good traction. So yeah, so that's just a little note on the traction control there too. So that pretty much wraps it up for how to properly clean the shift shaft so your shift lever and your cable work properly as they should. And I know a lot of you guys out there, if you go out to your snowblowers and check this out, you're probably going to have that issue with these newer snow throwers. I'm finding out that the never cease is not a good idea. And also, I have a video on how to service and maintain your snow thrower, and I'll put that in the link in the description below. That'll show you how to adjust everything, and also storage at the end of the video. You know, it's good to store your machine properly. A lot of you guys have used my videos because your machines were not starting. At the end of that video, it'll show you how to properly store your machine. So I hope you check that one out. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.